Hey everyone, Wes here. Today, I want to take a look at the developer update for March 2023 that came out earlier today. I was at work when this came out, and now that I'm home and relaxed, I would like to take a look at it again and just kind of give my thoughts. Overall, pretty happy with it, I think, but there are definitely some things that I think are a little overtuned, and so I want to give my thoughts on those. And I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts as well. I will probably be replying to most comments on this, so yeah. Let's get into it. Number one, the blood web improvements. I think this is kind of objectively a good change, even if some stuff wasn't in the way I kind of wanted it to be. But I think this is still a great change that will help out console players no matter what. First off, the Blooded Chain. Select any node, and the game will automatically buy anything needed along the way. So you can purchase, basically, you can look, there's like a chain that's like for Wesker, crank, gloves, egg, and like at the top is like, I don't know, eerie photo. You would click the crank and it would buy that entire node instantly, which I think is gonna be really nice. Next up is the automatic purchase, and you click, it's gonna be here, and you click that and it'll just purchase items until the load has been completed. It'll prioritize perks than the cheapest option, which I don't think is great. I wish we could have had some kind of way to set our preferences. But overall, I think it's a pretty good change no matter what. And I'm really glad. I hope this speeds up the shit for console players. I know console players get like the rough end of this. I personally use a program called Blood Emporium, and it kind of does the same thing as this. It takes control of your mouse and scans your monitor. And then you can set preferences. I'll probably put a link to the GitHub for it in the description if you want to check that out. Only for PC players, though. And then I don't get this. I don't get this. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they had to lock that behind procedure your character one time. Because that means that for the new survivors, you can have to spend them manually. It's kind of weird. I hope that doesn't stay. I hope that goes away. And then press to buy, you just, you click and it buys. It's pretty self-explanatory. I think it's good. It cuts down on like a lot of the time, but again, I use Blood Emporium anyway, so that doesn't really bother me. Anyway, visual tear radius stuff. Cool. I like this. I don't use this because I have fine hearing. I might still use it because I like to listen to music and stuff when I play. But I like this. It doesn't really change anything. It's just a nice option for people who are hard of hearing. Yeah, I've heard people on Twitter bitch that this will give some kind of competitive advantage. Shut the fuck up. Like, just shut the fuck up. So what, dude? People, it's because it gives a slight advantage. People who are hard of hearing should be handicapped. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, let's move on. The Autohaven update. I'm really excited for this. Autohaven is one of my favorite realms. Obviously, nothing tops Macmillan. I will take Groding over Wreckers any day of the week as a killer main. But I really like this. So they changed Blood Lodge. They're changing the layout. The Blood Lodge will close to the center of the map instead of where it is now. Gonna be more central, which is great. I'd like to see that. And then they're changing Gas Heaven. They're doing the same thing, moving the map a little more centralized. And they said it reviewed its spotting rules. I wonder if that means that they changed how loop spawn and stuff. Excuse me, which would be great. And some of these will change. We'll go to the remaining of the Wreckers Autohaven maps, which I'm not sure about because the last time they changed Autohaven, they added those dog shit fucking tiles. So I'm a little hesitant on this change. But overall, I think this is a good idea. Gas Heaven and Blood Lodge are definitely some realms that stick out as being, especially Gas Heaven, stick out a little, being a little bad for killer. But I'm glad to see that they're changing these maps. I wish that they would change maps that need it more. Like, I think Garden of Joy needs it, and Cowshed need changes more than Gas Heaven and Blood Lodge do. But I'm glad they're working on it. I have no doubt they will change the maps. The other maps do. But they should change these before they fucking release them instead of shipping them out immediately. You know what I mean? But I'm not a developer. What do I know? And then the healing changes. I am a big fan of some of them. We'll get into that. So first of all, this is basically just talking about medkits and shit. Healing will now take 24 seconds by default. I'm not a fan of this, because this is also for healing each other, right? Like, 2 survivors healing each other. Now it takes 24 seconds. And I don't like that. The issue with the healing speeds wasn't 2 survivors, because that's 50% of the team, right? If 2 people are healing, and you're chasing someone else, that is 1 singular person on the generator. That's fine. 16 seconds is fine for that. But the issue came when you could heal yourself, and especially use certain medkits and add-ons to make it even crazier in terms of heal speed. I definitely think that the default heal speed, at least for 2 survivors, should stick to 16 seconds. But I also really enjoy the medkit changes they've made. So, all medkits are now standardized 24 charges, which means enough for 1 heal base kit. Well, standard. And then they adjusted some of the things, some of the effects of the medkit. And I really like this. I'm really glad they got rid of that for the green. This is cool, but I don't understand why they bothered changing these. People didn't run the purple for the skill check zones. But either way, I think it's a pretty good changes for the medkits. And it said they've done an add-on pass for medkits, but they haven't mentioned what that is, what they're doing. I would love to see syringes just gutted. I think syringes are fucking stupid. I don't care how long it takes to heal, because I'm guessing that this would affect syringes. I don't think the effect as an add-on should exist at all. I think it's really stupid in a game about time management that survivors can just get a free heal by using their medkit. No downside. I like to see Styptics gone too for the same reason, but we'll just have to wait and see for those in the PTB, which I think comes out next week, next Tuesday. But yeah, overall, good changes. I would love to see this part just kind of get reversed going live, at least for 2 survivors. 24 for a medkit seems fine, but 24 seconds for 2 people, I think, should not exist. I think it should still be 16. Perk updates. So, Gearhead. I think these changes, for what they did, they made it from a great skill check to a good skill check. And for the next 30 seconds after you hit a survivor, they have their aura revealed for 8 seconds. I think this will be a very great perk now for the killers who can benefit from it, right? Like, I think this will be good on Blight. Because, if you hit a survivor, and you see someone's on a gen, and they pop a good skill check, you can go straight to them, because you see their aura for an entire 8 seconds. That is a very long time. That's more than barbecue. Barbecue with lethal was 6 seconds. This is 8. That is and with lethal, that'd be 10 whole fucking seconds. I think Gearhead will have a lot of use on mobility killers like Blight, Oni, Spirit, Nurse. Maybe Wesker. I wouldn't use it on Wesker because his mobility isn't in that tier. But yeah, Overzealous. I mean, cool. This doesn't really do anything. Overzealous is still like a kind of a mediocre to average perk. Still would not highly recommend it. Pain Res. I am really sad about Pain Res. I thought Pain Res was one of the more balanced slowdown perks in the game. It had its own issues, but those issues didn't stem from the effect of the perk. It stemmed more from the RNG of Scourge hooks, right? Because you would have games, most games you'd get about the average level of Scourge usage. Like, they wouldn't be too bad, wouldn't be too good. They would just be good. Be okay. But there were some games where you would have, like, Grim Pantry, and you would have, like, 2 Scourge hooks in the fucking back of the corner behind me, and you may be getting 1 hook out of those. Maybe, right? Or you had games Unlike Cold Tower, where a lot of the centralized hooks were Scourge hooks, and you got a pain wrist nearly every single hook. And that's too strong, whereas the other scenario, Grim Pantry, is too weak, right? So I think they should have some kind of standardized or slightly predictable RNG, instead of it being completely RNG. Like, I think one hit centralized hook should always be Scourge. That way you can get some kind of level of like consistent value from it. And I don't think this direction they're taking is a good change, because I think the perk itself was one of the more balanced slowdowns. This just kills it. How it works now is that the perk starts with 4 tokens, and for every time you hook a survivor for the first time, the very first time that token, you lose a token, and you take 50% off a gem. So kind of how it works now. Now, this only works the first time you hook a survivor. So after you use all 4 tokens, the perk, I guess, deactivates. Which is really fucking bad, especially since it's a Scourge hook perk. So not only do you have to hook a survivor for the first time, it has to be on a Scourge hook. I think this perk is pretty much dead now. I think it's in the same tier of Pop. And Pop wasn't a bad perk when it was the meta, but then they brought in Cobb, and I think old Pop and Cobb would have been too strong. But yeah, I think they should get reverted 100%, and they should work on the Scourge RNG. Dead Hard. Oh man, Dead Hard. If you've ever been to my stream, you know how much I hate this fucking perk. And I, glad to say this perk is fucking okay now. It's okay. I don't think it's completely dead in the water, like some people think. It promotes a very altruistic playstyle. Well, kind of. It does the same exact effect, but you can't use it until you get an unhook. I think it's a safe hook rescue. Yeah, safe the unhooking survivor. So what I think this means is that from now on, M1 killers won't get fucked with their early game pressure with Dead Hard now. But once someone gets unhooked, you still kind of have to be careful of that. But I think that generally it's gonna be a great change. Maybe not great. It's a good change, I think. I think Dead Hard will now be used with other exhaustion perks. Like, I think Dead Hard Balanced or Dead Hard Life will be used. And I think Sprint Burst will also be used, which Sprint Burst has always been better than Dead Hard. Sorry, Ducky. But I'm really glad that Dead Hard's getting a change. I think they could have gone better, done more with it, but I think generally this seems okay. But we're really only gonna see when the patch comes out, and the PTB comes out on Tuesday. I probably won't be playing it, just because I don't have a reason to. The queue time's gonna be long as shit, and there's not a lot of content on this, because it's just a mid-chapter. But yeah. Call of Brine. All they did is they nerfed its regression speed. Now, give me 1 second. I think this is fine. I always thought Cobb on its own was a pretty good perk. I don't think it was overbearing, but it synergizes so well with other slowdown perks to a point where I kind of understand it needing to be nerfed, even if the perk itself was a fine perk. I think this is a solid perk. I don't think it's overbearing or anything like that, but I am glad that they are touching it. I would love to see behavior buff like base kit gen regression, so you don't feel like you have to run kick perks. Like, you can just kick a gen and it'll slow down at a fine rate without any kind of perks with it. That would be fantastic. But I think that Cobb will still be good, because you still have that info part to it. It just won't be as good. I think that's a good change overall. Now, Overcharge is kind of the same way. So it's interesting. I don't think it's dead. I think it's gonna be. I think people won't use it on its own, and I definitely don't think Like, I think Cobb is still just objectively a better perk, but it is still an interesting perk, because now it's actually going to do more regression than Cobb does at its max level, at like max time. Which, 5%, does that amount to a lot? I don't know. Someone in the comments do the difference for me. I'm too lazy. But I definitely would like to see how it plays in game. I hope these two still don't get used together, because that's, especially with the starting regression speed being buffed, that sounds still kind of boring as shit. I hope they don't get used together, but we'll have to see. Next up, Circle of Healing. Good fucking riddance. I hated this fucking perk, dude. This perk sucked so much to go against, because survivors would boon up, and then you would just hit someone, chase someone else, and just lose all of your split pressure. And the change they're doing to it, I think is great. I think it's a great perk. First of all, you cannot heal yourself with you cannot heal with Cobb without a medkit. You have to heal with a medkit in Cobb now. What it does is that it provides a 50% healing speed to healing other players, healing other survivors, right? Which I think is a great change. That means people still heal faster, but they have to run to the boon, and they don't get that efficiency anymore because their stats beat 2 people there now. And on top of that, it doesn't boost medkit healing anymore. I think this is a great change. And also the aura of injured survivors, it might be interesting, but we'll have to see how that plays out. But I'm definitely really glad for this change, and I think it'll bring Circle of Healing down to the level of others boon perks. Because Shadow Steps, okay. Dark Theory sucks. Exponential, I think Exponential is kind of slept on. I think it's a pretty good anti-slug boon. What am I missing there? Dark Theory, Exponential, Shadow Step? No. Those are all of them. Killer updates. The Hillbilly. Dude, I was reading this and I was like, yes, 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 no, 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 no. Why? Why are you changing his fucking engravings, dude? These are the only fucking good add-ons he has. It's like these and Low Pro. Those are the only good add-ons, and you have the fucking audacity to touch engravings? Really? Really? He used to be the best killer in the game, man! And y'all do this to him! Oh, man. But they changed overheating a lot, and I like them. I like changed overheat. To be honest, I think they should just remove it. I know that McLean and other developers have said it took a long time to implement, so they're going to keep it. That's a fucking bullshit reason. It's still not good. I think it should just be removed. I don't understand the point of overheat. But yeah, I think this is a good change, but I hope this doesn't make it past the PTB. And then all of these can pretty much be lumped up in the same that these don't really do anything, right? Like this one, I like this. They acknowledge the nerf the pig meme. But like, that's whatever. 4% increase. That's whatever. The Oni, I mean, 0.1 each. That doesn't sound like anything. Freddy, wow, dude, they both blindness, dude. Woo! Blindness, God's strongest set of status effects. Oh man. And then this one. Dude, Pyramid Head has, I think, the worst add-ons in the game. The only two that are good are Double Range. And that's, I mean, maybe Mannequin's Foot. Maybe. And all they do is they double Scarlet Egg's duration from 1.5 to 3. Wow. Insane, dude. I don't think this will change anything. Clown, I I wonder how this will change Pinky Finger's usage. Because now you have one bottle. Alright, like literally one bottle. Because it reduces bottles by 3 instead of 2. So now instead of 2 bottles, you have 1 bottle. I wonder if this will lower his effectiveness with the add-on or not. I wonder if they changed it to be like Eerie Head, where you can't bring this in a Gen bottle because it doesn't matter. Because then you would have, I think you'd have 3, right? Because I think Gen bottle is 2. 2 out of 2 bottles. So I don't know. I don't use Pinky Head when I play a clown because it's really fucking boring. So this doesn't affect me at all. But I am excited to see how it affects it because I know Cloud in general is not very fun to face. Pinky Finger makes it even more oppressive and boring to face because he throws a bottle and you get done instantly. GG. But yeah, I like to see how that goes. And then they are getting rid of the light burn shit. And I guess this is kind of controversial, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is a fucking great change that was overdue. The mere concept that you can bring an item and you have no idea who the killer is, but because it's a certain killer, that item gets significantly better because it's something you didn't do and you had no idea that the other side do it. I mean, the killer knows you have a flashlight, but they can't switch killers anymore because of MMR. So I think this is kind of a fundamentally outdated mechanic, right? And I mean, yeah, there's a bit of skill, like you can play around it as like Wraith and I guess Nurse, but like Hag, how do you play around it as Hag? You don't. They flashlight your trap and GG. I'm glad this is gone. This deserves to be gone. This should have been gone like 3 years ago. I mean, when this game first came out 7 years ago, pretty much 7, you know, each killer had the clear-cut weakness. Trapper had toolboxes, because you could sabo his traps back then. Wraith had flashlights, as you can see here. And Billy? I guess pallets were his main weakness, because, they were everyone's weakness, but no, that was like the main thing against Billy, was, pallets. And so for this to be gone, I think is great. I mean, Wraith got cut apart by flashlights, which bullshit. He's already kind of on the weaker side of things. I would put him maybe B tier. I'm glad that's gone. Nurse, this shit like barely fucking mattered. This shit like barely mattered. I think out of the dozen or so Nurse games I've ever played, people have burned me like once or twice. Yeah, I'm glad this is gone. Artist, this is also like not an issue, but I'm glad it's gone. That's a good change. Hag, I'm really glad they're getting rid of it and they're changing so there's an ability to wipe it away, which kind of is more like a demo because you can seal demos portals. So they're kind of doing the same thing with Hag. I'm really curious to see how that plays out in the PTB. I'm glad they're doing it. This is really long overdue, and I'm glad it's happening. I know some people think it's bad that it's happening. I think it's great. I don't think you should have an advantage over a certain killer because you bought an item and you had no prior knowledge what killer they were playing, right? I think that's stupid. I'm glad that's being gone. And then the deep root, this is just saying that blah 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 blah. The most recent chapters lore was expanded in the tome. This is something I've been doing for all, which is whatever. I don't really care. So, what are my overall thoughts on this chapter? Mid chapter. Sorry. I think it's good. I think overall good changes. Some issues that should be addressed. Like, for one, I think the healing speed. I think this shouldn't be a thing. I think it should be 24 seconds for solo and 16 for duo, personally. Pain res, I think it's a stupid change. I think this should just be completely reverted. I think pain res is fine as it is, and they should fix the Scourge Hook RNG rather than nerf pain res because of it. Dead Hard, I like Dead Hard. I think they should just maybe completely rework it if this isn't enough. But I think it'll be fun. Call of Ryan, I don't think that, I understand why they nerfed the perk, because it was such a good combo perk, but it still sucks, because I thought the combo's pretty good. Overcharge, I think it'll only be used with Cobb still. I don't think it'll be used on its own. Boon is a great change. Hillbilly, fuck this. Okay, anyway. I think this will change the meta. I think we're gonna see a lot more Corrupt and Deadlock now. Because those things are blocked for free. And I'm curious to see how Deadlock rises. Deadlock is already like a pretty strong perk in general, I would say. And so now that all the hard slowdown is being nerfed, you know, Corrupt and Deadlock, I think, are going to take off in the meta. I look for the meta to be like Corrupt, Deadlock, Sloppy, and then a filler perk. That's what I think the current meta will be. All killers who can afford to have Sloppy and not another slowdown. I think the Dead Hard change will bring a lot of bad killers up. Like I think the healing and the Dead Hard changes will really benefit Twins. So I think Twins might have more than a 0.8% pick right now. And for Survivor side, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot more Sprint Burst, but a lot more Dead Hard and another Exhaustion perk. So like Dead Hard Live, I think, or Dead Hard Balanced. Obviously, we won't see like Dead Hard Overcome or Dead Hard from Burst. Doesn't make any sense, but yeah. And maybe we might see a lot more healing builds. Like a purple medkit. I guess the medkit doesn't really matter now because we're all the same charges, huh? But like a medkit with like Desperate Measures, Streetwise built to last, stuff like that to get more heals. But overall, I think this will shift the game towards a better meta state, and I'm really excited to see how it affects the game. I'll probably make another video after the patch goes live, and I've played with it a little because I'm curious to see how this changes. I'm really curious to see the map changes. But yeah, see y'all next time.